maybe you're wondering what to do with your day in retirement. Kirk, coffee. We thought that what we would do is talk a little bit about what we're doing with our day-to-day lives, especially not being on a cruise ship, and giving people ideas of what to do maybe in retirement. So we've been on cruise ships for 2 weeks, as I said.
2 years. You said we're on a cruise ship for 2 weeks.
2 years. 2 years actually goes by really quickly, apparently. I think it was 2 weeks. So we've been here in Canada for 2 weeks, and we have decided that we need other things to do. We need projects when people retire. Doesn't matter what age you are, but you kind of need something to wake up to, something to look forward to. What do you think, Kirk?
Yeah, I think going back to the point about cruise ships is, as fun as they are and as nice as they are, convenient, you don't get to do anything on your own. You can't cook, you can't clean, you can't paint, you can't drive the ship. So you're just along for the ride. And I think after 2 years, it's like, I think we need to get our brain active and do something different as well.
For now, I think I'd like to go over a list of ideas, not only for us, but for anybody out there who's deciding that maybe you're wondering what to do with your day in retirement. So the first thing I think is that you need some kind of passion project, something that you get excited about doing. And what are some of the things that you think excite you, Kirk?
Well, anything that keep your brain active. So doing some type of project. There's one in the background here behind us. Learning a new skill, learning an instrument, a language, anything really to keep yourself active and busy.
Yeah, so something that you're passionate about, something that you want to jump out of bed and do. So for us, a passion project, I guess for Kirk and myself, is to work on what we just said, we just pointed out here. We do have a big project. We'll introduce this project to you next week because it's a big one. It's consuming all of our time while we're here in Canada for a couple of months. So just like Kirk said, woodworking or playing an instrument or just something that you always wanted to do. Maybe you had a hobby in the past that you just never had time for, and now you have time. So what is it that you want to do? What is it that you want to try?
Like when you're working before you retire, you're always busy. You have a schedule, you have a daily plan. You have to be at work at a certain time, you leave at a certain time, you have appointments, etc. But when you're retired, there's no real schedule. There's no set plan or anything. So you have to have something that keeps yourself accountable to yourself as well, and not just sit around and watch TV for hours on end.
The second idea of what you could do to keep yourself busy is volunteering. So volunteering can be pretty much anything. It could be something where you give back to the community. It could be a skill that you've worked on for your whole life, and maybe you're mentoring somebody to do something, or maybe you're volunteering in a shelter, or you're helping animals, raising money or awareness for something. So one of the things, we're doing 2 volunteer projects upcoming. So we have on Saturday of next week, we're participating in a walking fundraiser for dogs who have been rescued from puppy mills and that kind of thing. So they're trying to fundraise money for veterinarian services and rehabilitating some of these poor animals who have been basically abused their whole life. So yes, our volunteering in this case is a little bit hands-off, but we are fundraising by walking for awareness. And the other volunteering that we're doing, which we do every year, is cycling for sick kids. So this will be our 9th year. So we're going to have to start cycling and practicing that again, Kirk.
Yep, that's coming up soon.
Yes, it is. So that is in August. So I think, we're not just going to bike only in August. You kind of have to get your body conditioned into doing that. So volunteering, something that you can commit to, something where you can give back. I think that would be also very rewarding if you have the time to do that in your retirement. And the third point that we have on our list is travel. Now, I know that you heard that we just came back from being on cruise ships and traveling around the world for 2 years, but there's more to travel than just doing it on a cruise ship.
Yeah, there's more ways. There's road trips. You can fly, you can stay somewhere for longer. Although we love cruise ships and we are always on cruise ships, it's nice to do different things. We still have a lot of Canada to explore, for example. But
I love traveling across Canada.
Yeah, and we still have to finish all of the states in the US. I think we're at about 35, 36 states right now, but it would be nice to get more of those done, and yeah.
So how would you travel? Like, we could travel with a RV or?
Yeah, so one of the things we had done as well was we purchased an RV, and it's gonna be our land cruise ship, I guess. Take us from place to place, and but you don't have to do it in an RV. We have done road trips in our cars many times and just stayed in hotels along the way, and that's just as fun and convenient. An RV is, we'll talk about that in a later video. It's new to us, but yeah, it is new to us. It's like waking up kind of out in an outdoors experience every day. It is a very different experience. That bee is back. The next thing that I would like to talk about is lifelong learning. So in retirement, now is the time that you can pick up a new language skill, or you could try a new course, a new instrument that Kirk was talking about before. I know so many people, having been a music teacher myself for many years, I know so many people in retirement who have always wanted to pick up an instrument like a guitar or the piano and just learn. And as we were talking about earlier, it's kind of hard to do that when you have a schedule on a cruise ship. So now is the time to try a new course. For me, I'm learning French. I've always had this thing with trying to learn French, and it just never seems to stick, does it? Every time I try to speak French to somebody, I'm just like a deer in headlights, and I can't speak French. But every now and again, I try to pick up that language. Yeah, and it can be language, an instrument. As Tori said, working with tools. It could be, woodworking, or, I don't know, soap making, or even just gardening.
Well, that's not considered really lifelong learning. I'm talking about like a whole new skill set. Like, I remember my mom, when she retired, she went out and got a degree in business, and she had also learned a whole new skill with paper towel, and then she became a twice author of paper towel making. and ran a business that way. So I'm talking about lifelong learning, where you're practically learning a whole new skill and doing something with that skill. So,
But if I didn't know how to garden, isn't that a new skill?
I guess so. I think gardening, that's a lot of
Like we can't garden for the life of us, but
no.
we know people who are excellent at it, and
Yes.
she's always here to help us when we need it.
Yeah, we do have a couple gardening friends, and ironically both of their names are Linda. So we could just say Linda. Hey Linda, if you're watching, we really appreciate your gardening skills. Yeah, so yeah, there's a lot to learn with gardening, but you could just pick up any skill, any lifelong challenge. Another one that I'm personally working on is creating interesting YouTube videos. So we have started this channel and we've been serious about it for several months now, and thank you so much for subscribing and following. And I know these videos are a little bit of a change, but it does take a lot of work to create not only the video, but think about the topic, edit it, and then post it. So there's a lot of skill set even with the computer aspect. So maybe you're considering doing something like this, where you're vlogging or you're creating videos about a skill that you have. And that's another really big one for these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody loves to share information and everybody loves to learn information. And the fifth thing that we could talk about is meeting other like-minded people. So it could be other retirees who have the same kind of time that you have, or the same kind of interest that you have. So I know here in our area they have a free few days where you can try dragon boat racing. Maybe you want to join the local theater and do something with them, or just be a participant in something with other people who have the same kind of thoughts about things or same interests that you do, because you never know, you can make all kinds of new friends and they could open up your eyes to whole new experiences in your retirement as well. There's so many people that we've met on cruise ships with obviously different skills and different ideas of how to pass their time, and it's just actually really inspiring meeting people and learning from them, and maybe that gives you a burst of energy where you want to try something new.
Agreed.
So are you ready to jump into something new with your retirement? Are you ready to try a new skill or join a volunteer group or do any of these suggestions? Kirk, what do you feel like doing with your next few days, or next few months anyway, on land?
For me, the project behind me is what I am most interested in about right now, and we'll talk about that in a future video. Mm-hmm. But for now, that's my number one thing.
Yeah, definitely gets you out of bed at night. So Kirk is working right from early morning right until late evening.
So it gets me out of bed in the morning.
It does. It gets Kirk out of bed and it puts him to bed late in the evening. And for me, obviously working on this channel to give you guys information about retiring and cruising and all of that kind of thing. I think that gets me out of bed, and learning French and exercise. These are all things that I want to talk about in future episodes with you guys as well. So thank you so much for watching, and we hope we've inspired you to try something new. We'll see you in the next video.